Throws it into the open field. No one's going to touch him. Mark it up. Touchdown, Sioux Falls.
40, the 30, and he is gone to the house. Touchdown, Tallahassee.
Tipped and picked off by Colin Douglas, who's going to take it back all the way.
No pass caught, first down. What a move! D.R. Sim, get out of here! The doctor is in for the touchdown!
It's a dramatic entrance tonight to Canada. It's the fourth of four final games airing on the SFL Network tonight. From Canada Field, a winner-take-all situation. The loser is out. The winner is in. The 5-6 Oklahoma City Renegades and the 6-5 Vancouver Legion. It's next on the SFL Network on YouTube. Good evening, everyone. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Cameron Irvine. This is the game that Week 12 is made for. Oklahoma City trying to make the playoffs for the first time since Season 3. That's a 3-year drought, folks. Vancouver trying to make it for the first time in franchise history. Coach Andy Hamilton trying to make it for the first time in his 4 seasons in the SFL. We're here for the coin toss. Gage choose tails. Renegades win the toss. They will defer to Vancouver. That'll put Tom Pepper on the field first. Legion in the All Blacks. Ball is on the tee and we are all set for kickoff from Vancouver. Kick it! We're underway! From the 10-yard line on the return pass, the 25, Corey Jones, up to the 29, 30-yard line is where they'll officially mark them. And we're ready for Monday Night Football. We will try to keep you as update as possible all throughout the night here on the SFL family of networks. A lot of big games, a lot of important games for a lot of teams on the docket. Vancouver will start with 2 backs and 2 receivers. Oklahoma City showing blitz. They back off. Rush just 3. That pass is caught over the middle for a pickup of 6 yards by Rick Northrup, the tight end. Charlie Northrup, rather, the bronze tight end. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 4 for the Legion. Again, in their all blacks tonight with the gold numbers and gold and white trim, just a little bit of the blue on the gloves. Oklahoma City in the road, blue helmets, white jerseys, blue pants, red numbers, red and yellow trim. 2nd down for Vancouver. Back to pass, sidearm throw. That pass incomplete, knocked away by Isaac Holt. Pressure in the face of Tom Pepper caused that pass to come out of his hands early, and that brings up 3rd down and 4. Some score updates brought to you by Andy Hamilton here in the chat. Thank you, Andy. 10:27 to go in the 2nd quarter. Carolina has the lead over Tallahassee, 17-14. 4:24 to go in the first half. Mexico City beating Alaska 14-10. And 7:18 to go in the first quarter. Baltimore has an early 3-0 lead on Queen City. It's been an upset city type of weekend as Tom Pepper goes far outside. Pass caught at the sticks. They rule him short. And I don't agree. That was Brett Killian with the catch. No runs to Yvonne Sanchez in the first 3 plays. That was a stunning result, and I would be shocked if we don't get a challenge from Vancouver, and we won't. That's a shame. I know it's only the first 50 seconds of this game, but that looked like a terrible spot for Brett Killian. Low snap, Oklahoma City coming after it, nearly got the block. From the 21-yard line, Cam Michael on the return up to the 22. Will be put down with 9:57 to go in the first quarter. Shout-outs on the chat, Dwayne Schindler, Andy Hamilton, Marquise Reed, DeAndre Noel, Mahmoud Ajalani, Tom Pepper, Cade Stevens, and the rest of SFL Nation that's scattered all across our family of networks here tonight. 9:57 to go in the first quarter. It is first down and 10. The Scored's pardon as Red Feather will dump it off to Pete Brewski. He's going to get almost nothing. Brings up second down and 9. And we get to introduce a couple of the all-time greats. Joseph Redfeather is the league's all-time leader in passing yards, 24,403 coming into the game, 166 touchdowns, 169 interceptions. Clock should be moving. Second down and 9. Toss play to Pete Brewski, and Brewski stood up for a loss of 1. Brings up third down and 10. A very good start for Drew Hamilton and the rest of the Vancouver Legion defense. Meanwhile, Pete Brewski's the league's all-time leader in rushing yards, 10,779, 99 touchdowns. Brewski needs one more touchdown to become the first player in SFL history to record 100 rushing touchdowns, as Red Feather will drop back on a third down and 10. Hit as he threw the pass, and double coverage is intercepted at the 40-yard line and returned up to the 34. That's Terry Crow, and Vancouver's forced the first turnover of the evening. Terry Crow getting his hands on that one, looking for Tiberius Bovine in double coverage. Oscar Dunkley was also there. Crow with his 6th interception of the season, and it's first and 10 for Vancouver. Vancouver went 3 and out on their first possession. I guess it was pretty smart for Coach Andy Hamilton not to challenge that questionable fourth down and short spot on their opening possession. Now great field position of the Renegade 33, handoff of Von Sanchez. He stood up in the backfield, loss of 3 yards. Dexter Romberg, who was a hero of sorts and has been a hero all of his career here in Oklahoma City combined for that tackle for loss. Romberg had 2 interceptions last week. 2 in the backfield. Killian is at the bottom of the screen. And 9 within 4 yards of the line of scrimmage there for Oklahoma City. They rush 4. Pepper going long. Wobbly pass caught over the top of the defense. It's Northrop, touchdown Vancouver. That one was a duck that somehow found Northrop down the field. And it's the Legion on the board first tonight. It's Northrop's 3rd receiving touchdown of the season over the head of Tank Savage. Nearly fluttered out of bounds. And the Vancouver Legion have the game's first touchdown. And with the extra point, that will equal Vancouver's output against Oklahoma City last go-around. They lost that game 31-7. Avon Sanchez left that game. Pete Brewski left that game. And some crazy circumstances there at Robbers Cove in Oklahoma City. But the extra point is good for Vancouver. Touchdown from Pepper to Northrop. It's 7-0 here on the Week 12 SFL Game of the Week. Cam Michael back to return the kickoff from the 8-yard line. Michael 20, 25, put down before the 30 at the 29-yard line. Tracking all the action for you tonight, of course, it's a winner-take-all situation. Here in Vancouver, the winner gets into the playoffs. Calm down, theme music. The loser is out. Offside Vancouver, free play Oklahoma City. Red Feather goes outside. It's dropped and intercepted, but the interception will be wiped away. That was Quentin Mantua, the fullback, who has no business dropping passes in the open field. But lucky for Oklahoma City, it was a free play. That was Jenkins who jumped offside. And Oklahoma City breathes a sigh of relief. for Red Feather this season. 13 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Has kept a calm head about him, however. 2,681 yards. It's first down and 5. And Red Feather will throw again. This time a check down to Brewski. Brewski breaks off the tackle, but not much room to run. Picks up just a yard, 2nd and 4, as Oklahoma City is looking for their first move of the chains in 2 possessions. Terry Crow almost nabbed his second one. Defense is led by Caden Carter. Exactly 100 tackles coming in. Frank Champion right on his heels with 98. But Carter, 11 pass defended, 9 picks, leads the team in both categories as Pete Brewski will lose a yard. Dropped in the backfield by Oscar Dunkley, and it's 3rd down and 5. So the Renegades, in 5 offensive plays, have moved 5 yards and has a turnover, and that's because Vancouver moved them up 5 yards. The leading receiver on Oklahoma City, Caleb Hamby, is outside at the top of your screen. 3rd and 5. Red Feather looks to Hamby. That one is caught. First down, Oklahoma City, the 42-yard line. Terry Crow on the tackle. Renegades go to that far side throw again. And this time it proves effective. Caleb Hamby, 972 yards and 7 touchdowns on 73 receptions. That 972 is good enough for 16th in the SFL. 3 in the backfield now in the 1st and 10 for OKC. The handoff goes to Brewski, and Brewski lost 2 yards. Slammed down in the backfield by Frank Champion. That'll bring up 2nd down and 12, and so far, nothing doing for Brewski. That's the 9th tackle for loss for Champion. That leads the Legion, rather. As far as tackle for losses, you need 10 to get in the top 20 in the SFL this season. 2nd and 12. Split backs, back to pass. Red Feather, all kinds of time. Deep ball is incomplete. Very heavily defended down the field was Julian Whelan, and I'm not sure what Joseph Red Feather saw, as there was no room to put that ball through. Dunkley was in coverage. 3rd down and 12. Score update, 5:09 to go in the 2nd quarter. Carolina still leading Tallahassee 20-14. Skyhawks trying to pull a massive upset there. 3rd and long, Renegades. 2 backs, back to pass, Red Feather. Red Feather pump fake, looking around for somebody to be open. He finally dumps it off to Whelan. Nothing open down the field, and that picks up only 7, and the Renegades will have to punt it away and hope their defense stands a little taller than they did on the last possession. 3:13 to go in the 1st quarter. Baltimore still out in front of Queen City by a field goal. Both teams have exchanged touchdowns. Now 10-7 in that one. Thanks to the chat for getting us all the updates on all the action. By the end of the night, we will have our playoff matchup set, and by tomorrow, hopefully, we will have our final playoff semifinal schedule. From the 19-yard line on the return to the 21, not much room there. Stops the clock with 4:50 to go. That was Corey Jones on the return. We'll bring up a 1st down and 10 for Vancouver. Well, Vancouver was 0-4 and looked like it was just going to be one of those seasons as an expansion team. Then the Legion rattled off 6 consecutive wins before running into a late season juggernaut in San Antonio. Lost 44-30 last week, but San Antonio just clobbered Houston yesterday, 55-0. Deep ball from Pepper is caught on the sideline. Get those toes in, Brett Killian, and Pepper's up to 59 passing yards. That looked out of bounds, and that should be a challenge from Oklahoma City. We saw a call that did not go in Vancouver's way earlier in the game. That one is all for the Legion, and no challenge there either. Both coaches keeping their red challenge flags in their back pocket. That did not look like Killian got 1 foot inbounds. 4-3 look, 4 wide receivers for Tom Pepper. Pepper will hand it off to Avon Sanchez. He hasn't gotten much work tonight. Maybe that's why Cole Irvine spears him after a gain of just 1. As Vancouver's strategy so far, for the most part, has been attack OKC through the air. 2nd down and 9 coming up Both of these offenses rank at the bottom of the league. Vancouver 26.91 points per game, that's 13th. Oklahoma City 24.64 points per game, that's 15th. As Pepper will hand it off to Sanchez on a stretch play coming left. Gets a block, first down, all the way past midfield. Dragging a defender to the OKC 49 and moves the chains and flips field position for Vancouver. Best run of the night for Ivan Sanchez. Looking at these two teams defensively, both pretty even as well and a little bit better. Oklahoma City gives up just 27.73 points per game. That's 7th in the league. Vancouver 29.18 is 8th best in the SFL. 1st and 10 at the Renegade 49-yard line. So that lack of a challenge by Oklahoma City keeps the drive moving for the Legion. Line shifts from right to left, back to pass Pepper. Pepper, quick throw over the middle, caught by Killian. Picks up 4 yards to the Renegade 45-yard line to bring up 2nd down and 6. Well, folks, we've got some major SFL announcements coming this week. You're not going to want to miss them. We will be unveiling the finalized postseason schedule, and we also have a major announcement that most of you will not see coming. We have some exciting days ahead of us here in the Simulation Football League. Just keep a lookout for that later this week. 2nd down and 6. Tom Pepper against a blitz. Got it away just in time, and it's caught on the sideline by Corey Jones. I don't know how in the world Tom Pepper is completing these passes. Pressure again, all up in his face late. Pepper, a wobbler if I've ever seen one, and this time Corey Jones with the legit catch on the sideline. 1st and 10 to the Renegade 29, and so far it's all Legion. Renegades need to do something to curve the momentum here. 3 receivers, Killian bottom of the screen as the corners back off. That's Holt bottom, Michael top of your screen there at the 21-yard line. Sanchez hands it off, and Sanchez having a tough time getting out of the backfield. Will push ahead for a gain of 2 yards. Tank Savage on the tackle will bring up 2nd down and 8. Savage leads the Renegades with 105 tackles. Casper with 100. Casper leads the team in pass defended with 12, but Savage and Cam Michael also each have 10. And Savage also leads the team in interceptions with 8. And off to Sanchez, and again Sanchez is put down. And that'll pick up 1 to bring up 3rd down and 7 at the 26. Coming up on 2 minutes to go now in the first quarter. Legion up early here at home. It's been home cooking across the SFL so far this week. 4 home teams won yesterday. Empty backfield, 5 wide. Renegades rush 4, can't get there. Pepper long, nearly intercepted. Casper had that one in his hands at the goal line, and that could be the difference between 7-0 and 10-0. Really good coverage down the field from Casper, and Vancouver will have to kick the field goal. Billy Joe Casper, the league's all-time leader in interceptions with 53. Koma Kaleka has 42. Tank Savage right behind Kaleka with 41. Rodney Woods with 33, and then Isaac Holt with 32. 3 of the top 5 all-time pick-off leaders here on this Renegade squad. From 42 yards away, the field goal for Vancouver is no good. Missed it wide to the right, and the Renegades get a stop anyway. Beck's Kick'ems keeps Vancouver from opening up a double-digit lead, as that one never had a chance. Wide right all the way. Again, keep in mind that if Vancouver wins tonight, they would be the 4 seed, unless Vancouver wins by 14 points or more, in which case they would be the 3 seed. A lot at stake for the Legion. Of course, both teams have a lot at stake, but a little bit extra for Vancouver. Red Feather quick out to Hamby, and they rule that out of bounds. If you're going to rule that out of bounds, you got to rule the other one out of bounds from Killian, and it's 2nd down and 10, and the Renegades are having a real tough time moving the ball right now. Red Feather, a miserable 34.5 quarterback rating here to start. There you see Bovine and Wheeland at the top of, or at the left side of the line. Another offside penalty on Vancouver. Vancouver showing a lot of anxiety on that defensive front despite being at home here tonight. That's their second. That'll push the Renegades up to 2nd and 5. 24 seconds to go in the first half. Looks like Tallahassee's back on top in a flip-flop game against Carolina there, 21-20. Tallahassee trails Queen City in point differential by 9. They would need a win, a Queen City loss, and need to make up those 9 points in some way. Here tonight as Baltimore and Queen City are also in action tonight, along with Mexico City, Alaska, the fight for the West's #1 seed and potentially who one of these two teams is going to play in the next round. Hamby top of the screen, Red Feather to pass on 2nd down and 5, goes middle, wide open, caught by Bovine, who gets the first down to the 46, tried to reverse field, and lucky he didn't keep going that direction or he would have not gotten the first down. Bovine makes his first catch of the night. A little bit of a down year, but not a bad year for Bovine. 774 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Renegade left the line early. That's a false start on Oklahoma City. How often do you see that? Bovine in the league now for 6 seasons. Had 105 yards in his first season, to 646 to 680. Then hit his prime, 1,317 yards, followed by 1,177 yards. Took a big dip last year, 679, but back up over that. His 58 receptions is second most in his career, as that ends the first quarter. He needs 10 receptions, by the way, here tonight to get to that career high of 68. End of 1. It's 1st and 15. This is the SFL Network on YouTube. You're watching the game of the week. Offside, Vancouver. They're going to get the yards right back. Deep ball is intercepted, and that's the second interception taken away by an offside penalty. Can you believe that? A messy game here in the first half as both of these lines just antsy here with all the pressure. These two teams, for various reasons, desperately want to win this game to legitimize legacies and legitimize careers. It's back to a 1st and 10 with Oklahoma City. Tallahassee and Carolina have reached the half. 2 in the backfield for Red Feather, back to pass. Quick out to Hamby. Pass caught, gain of 4. Red Feather up to 27 yards, does have that pick. We mentioned that Red Feather averaging less than 2 picks a game, which is more than most quarterbacks can say this year. The 15 picks is actually best in the SFL amongst quarterbacks that have played all 11 games this season. Caswell has 17, as does Matt South. Both of those quarterbacks in action against each other. Red Feather going long, caught in coverage at the 32-yard line. That's Bovine again. Tiberius Bovine stepping up. That's his second grab of the night, and the Renegades have their best offensive series of the first half. There you see Bovine lining up almost in the slot on the line, if one can exist. Getting in tight and spreading them out to make that play in the end. 9:53 to go in the first half. Certainly one of the more unique offenses in the SFL as Joseph Red Feather will drop the pass again, going long and a double move. Caught at the 8-yard line. Caleb Hamby. What a grab by Caleb Hamby. Sensational. The pump fake from Red Feather. The in and out by Hamby. 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. 9:44 to go in the second quarter, and Baltimore is taking a 13-point lead over Queen City. I formation for Red Feather. Handoff, Brewski running left. Brewski got some lanes for the first time tonight. He's into the end zone for a touchdown, OKC. dragging defenders across the goal line, and we're an extra point away from being all tied up. Look at Brewski here running behind some blockers. And Drew Hamilton and Frank Champion both could not bring Brewski down in time. Brewski gets his 16th rushing touchdown of the season and his 100th rushing touchdown of his career. Just a phenomenal long career from Mr. Pete Brewski. And the extra point is up and good for Oklahoma City. And just like that, we are tied at 7. Brewski gets the Renegades on the board. And it's a Game of the Week tie in Canada. .501 to go in the third quarter. Alaska up on Mexico City 20-16. They were trailing 13-3 in that one as Corey Jones returns it up to the 31. Again, we got Carolina, Tallahassee, Baltimore, Queen City, Mexico City, Alaska all going on tonight with some great commentary across the board. Eric Vincent, Michael Turillo, and Chris Curtis. Out there making it happen. Back to pass, Tom Pepper to start the drive. Pepper nearly threw a pick. Dangerous ball, looking for Cade Stevens, who's had a quiet first half. Threw that one into heavy traffic. Renegades coming off a 24-14 win over Dallas last week. A narrow loss to the Aztecs, 31-24. The Renegades coming into the game are 0-5 on the road. Hand off to Ivan Sanchez, and Ivan Sanchez gets blasted by Billy Joe Casper, but does pick up 6. 3rd down and 4. Nice run from Sanchez. The Oklahoma City Renegades have not won a road game since January 15th of this year. It's been almost a year since the Renegades have won a road game. 3rd and 4. Pepper's pass caught by Brett Kelly into the 46-yard line. Did anybody catch that stat in the podcast this week? Again, I'm going to have to say it again. The Renegades have not won on the road since January 15, 2017. That is 11 straight losses on the road. 1st and 10 at the Legion 46-yard line. 8 minutes to go in the first half. Hand off to Sanchez. Ivan Sanchez picks up another 7. And Sanchez is starting to get those legs rolling down the field. Mahmoud Ajalani asks, are there plans of having more teams? Yes, in the future, plans of having more teams. As for now, sticking with 16, but there may be some ownership or head coaching, offense, defensive coordinator spots coming open, becoming available as Ivan Sanchez gets the first down, and Vancouver is moving. How about this from Ivan Sanchez? Terrible pursuit angle there from Tank Savage. I don't know where, I guess Savage was thinking that Sanchez was going to cut back outside. This has been the drive of Ivan Sanchez. 90 yards through the air for Tom Pepper. 1st and 10 at the Renegade 29-yard line. Vancouver trying to answer the Pete Brewski touchdown. 4 receivers, hand off to Sanchez again. Sanchez 15-10, 5 touchdown. He goes in untouched for the score, and Vancouver goes back up by 6. That was just too easy. As the two linebackers went to the outside, looking for Sanchez on the outside, and they just gashed him right up the middle. 13-7 with an extra point pending. For Irvine Sanchez, that is touchdown number 13. 1,296 yards coming in, 13 on the ground. That is his 16th overall this season. The extra point for Vancouver just got it away before delay of game. That kick is up and good. 6:57 remaining in the first half, and it's the Legion back up by a score. You're watching the SFL Week 12 Game of the Week on YouTube. Winner take all, and how about the score from Baltimore? 7:42 to go in the first half. Am I reading that correctly? 27-7 over the defending. What is happening to the Queen City Corsairs? They're on their way to giving up over 30 points each of the last 3 games. If you look at the team stats right now, Queen City a couple weeks ago had the #1 defense. They're still second in points allowed, giving up only 25, but man, that average is going to go down again after tonight. 6:54 to go in the first half, 14-7, Legion up by a touchdown. Hand off to Brewski. Brewski cutting back right, now breaks off the tackle. Pete Brewski picks up 6, and he really made something out of nothing on that run. Just 10 yards so far tonight for Brewski, and all 10 have come on his last 2 carries. Sanchez up to 75. Run defense for the Renegades, they give up 138.5. That's 11th in the league. Passing yards given up a little better. They are 9th. 2nd and 4, handoff Brewski again. Pete Brewski has a first down. Really good block and a bunch of pancakes out there for OKC. And they'll move the chains up to the 42-yard line. And neither one of these teams looks like they're going away, as Pete Brewski wants Reed to check the replay. Drew Hamilton's been all over the field, makes yet another tackle out of the secondary. To the backfield, handoff to Brewski, and Brewski lost 3. Dropped to the backfield. Frank Champion says, I wish I could watch that Mexico City, Alaska game live. You can, brother. Open up a new tab, put it on your phone, get it on another device. You can watch all 4 games right now. That's the way to live the SFL life. Halfway through the second quarter, Vancouver up 7. Vancouver on a drive a little bit, although Brewski lost 3 on his last carry, and Caden Carter sits him down for no gain. Neither team finding any sort of success outside the tackles, except for Brewski's 1 touchdown run, but everything else has been blown up, either at the line or in the backfield. Now 3rd and long for the Renegades. That's not where they want to be offensively. Back to pass, Redfeather going deep down the middle of the field. Almost caught off the deflection. Mantua was down there, and I believe Julian Wieland as well. And he almost got his hands on it, but the Legion come up with a stop. Oh, Frank, that's your problem. You're playing basketball. 4:58 to go in the first half. Renegades will punt it away. Dwayne, there's 4 on. You must be missing one from the 22-yard line. Corey Jones up to the 25. So we had a close one last we checked in Tallahassee, where Carolina's holding their own. Mark Biddix, pray for his daughter. She's in the hospital, and Biddix is turning in an inspiring performance here so far tonight. Baltimore apparently taking it to Queen City right now in their home finale. And Mexico City and Alaska are neck and neck. Back to pass outside. That's Killian staying in bounds. Knocked out after an 8-yard gain, and Pepper's approaching 100 yards on the night. Oscar Dunkley, Frank Champion, Tom Pepper, Dwayne Schindler, DeAndre Noel, Marquise Reed, Andy Hamilton, the Legion, very well represented in the chat tonight. Cade Stevens, the real BK, Mahmoud Ajalani. Just gotta love the support that this Vancouver Legion team is getting here in their first season. Ron Sanchez, first down, dragging defenders. Sanchez on his way to a 100-yard performance. I got you, Dwayne. I see you. .422 to go in the first half. In the backfield, back to pass. Pepper going long down the middle. Open and nearly got there. Did Tank Savage. That pass perfectly thrown just in the nick of time to Northrup. And Charlie Northrup is having himself a night. Wow, that's a unique little route there by Northrup. It almost looked like he was going to cut outside and then just cut straight up the field as Savage nearly knocked that ball out of his hands. Sanchez, ground and pound, 10 carries, 78 yards here in the first half. 4:22 to go in the third quarter. Wow, Tallahassee scored back-to-back touchdowns. They're trying to pull away from Carolina, 35-20. If the Queen City and Baltimore scores hold as of this moment, the Pride would be your #1 seed. Queen City would fall to 2, host Chicago. Pride would host Atlanta. 2nd and 10 after no gain there with 3:15 to go in the first half. 4 receivers for Pepper. Oklahoma City has not rattled Tom too much here in the first half. Couple of wobblers due to some pressure, but that's about it. Pepper all kinds of time over the middle, too easy. First down to the 35-yard line, Brett Killian. BK having himself a night. It's been the BK and Northrup show. Not a whole lot from Stevens or Corey Jones here in the first half as Romberg and Irvine combine for another stop. 2:45 to go in the first half. Legion trying to expand on their 7-point lead. They have not led by more than 7 here tonight. 2:38 to go first half. 2 backs and 2 receivers. 4-3 look. Handoff. Sanchez running on a stretch. Got a block. Sanchez in the open field. Breaks a tackle from Romberg. Savage with the stop, but not before another 7-yard gain for Yvonne Sanchez. 2nd and 3. Wow, 3:52 to go in the first half. Baltimore scores again. It's 34-7. Crabs over the Corsairs. That's almost as unbelievable as San Antonio's blanking of Houston yesterday. 2-minute warning, we pause 10 seconds for station identification.
Be legendary. Your home to the Simulation Football League is here on the SFL Network on YouTube.
And off, Sanchez running left, bounces off a tackler. Sanchez has the first down. Be a man in week 12. Yvonne Sanchez waking up the crowd. 8:24 to go in the fourth. Alaska is up on the Aztecs 23-19. Four receivers, 1.5 to go in the first half. 14-7 Vancouver trying to grow their lead. Handoff, Sanchez right up the middle, and this time he is stuffed. A loss of a yard. And Cole Irvine was all over that one. Clock continuing to wind as the Renegades hope for a turnover or another missed field goal from Dunkley here just before the half. Vancouver rushing a bit to the line. Just 6 in the box for Vancouver, or for OKC rather, as Yvonne Sanchez won't get much timeout for the Legion. We'll actually give them 1. 3rd and 10 coming up for Vancouver, and this is really the first time we've seen the Legion in a 3rd and long situation.
Right.
3rd and 10 at the 24. 5 wide for Pepper. 3-2 dime look for OKC. Back to pass Pepper. Pepper down the middle. Caught wide open! Touchdown Legion, Cade Stevens. Wow, that is a busted coverage. That is a busted coverage. How in the world does that even happen when you got 7 players in the secondary? It was like Cade Stevens was a ghost. Legion take their largest lead of the night, and the hometown fans are loving it. Extra point for Vancouver is good. Pepper on fire here tonight. 55 seconds to go in the first half. Can the Renegades respond? This is the SFL Network on YouTube. From the 9-yard line, Michael on the return. Michael 25 up to the 27. That's where he's shut down. Well, haven't seen much out of Pete Bruschi. Not much really out of this Renegade offense as a whole. They haven't been on the field very much. Defense a little gassed, and Vancouver's been able to do much of what they want offensively. Had the missed field goal, but the 3 touchdowns, a punt or 2 for Vancouver. Back to pass, Red Feather with 50 seconds left, out to Whelan. Whelan did not get out of bounds. That was a mistake. But the Renegades don't burn a timeout. I don't think they want to get into a potential 3-and-out situation as Whelan tries to get back set up. 2nd and 3, that took a lot of time. 38 seconds, Red Feather steps up, going down the middle of the field. Almost caught off the tip from Hamby. Drew Hamilton again knocks it away, and Red Feather forcing the ball down the middle of the field this entire first half into double and triple coverage. Wow, now Tallahassee has really opened it up. They have 21 unanswered points over Carolina right now. 2:26 to go in the third quarter. It's 42-20. And right now, it's looking like Tallahassee's a shoo-in for that number 1 spot. As Pete Bruschi gets a first down to the 41-yard line. Still no timeout from Oklahoma City. That's a mistake. 23 seconds to go. Red Feather, 21-20. Red Feather. Well, what's he going to do? Finally throw it outside Bruschi. Bruschi breaks a tackle, got to get out of bounds, and he does at the Vancouver 40-yard line with 10 seconds left. The Renegades really needed to spend some timeouts there. And it took Red Feather forever to get that ball out to Bruschi. He was wide open. We'll see if Carolina or Queen City has a comeback left in him. 5:57 to go in the fourth quarter. Mexico City inching closer, 23-22. Still down to the Storm here on the road by a point. No Hail Mary formation just yet for OKC, trying to get into field goal range. Red Feather going for more than that. Pass intercepted at the 25-yard line. You just cannot force the pass down the field. Renegades take points off the board as Marquise Reed with the interception. I mean, that's into triple coverage to the fullback. What is he looking at? For Reed, that is just his 2nd interception of the season, and now the Renegades need to make darn sure that they don't give up a touchdown here on the final play of the first half. Three receivers. Let's see what Vancouver does. They're going to hand it off to Sanchez. Sanchez out of the gate. One man at bait, and Sanchez got slowed down. That was almost a touchdown. 104 yards in the first half for Irvine Sanchez. And that takes us to the locker room. Vancouver 2 quarters away from knocking out the Renegades and getting into the playoffs, and as it stands right now, as the number 3 seed. 2K Sports Halftime Report is next, right here on YouTube. Renegades receive the ball to start the second half. Michael from the 10. Michael to the 28. Well, OKC will have to pick things back up. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast that their last road victory was January 15th, 2017. They've lost 11 consecutive road games, including a couple of weeks ago, a nail-biter to the Aztecs, who could be their first-round opponent if they get past Vancouver here tonight. 1st and 10, Red Feather will drop the throw, pump fake now going near side. That pass is caught right of the marker. That's Hamby, officially an 8-yard gain. Hamby's caught everything thrown to him, and it might be a good idea for Red Feather to continue to target Caleb. Good job looking off the defense. They officially give him 8. That's got to be the shortest 8 or the shortest 2 yards to gain that we've seen this season. At the half, Queen City did get a touchdown just before the half, so their deficit is only 20, but still a sizable deficit for the defending champs, trying to avoid going into the playoffs on a 2-game losing streak, which would be a first. Red Feather changing the play at the line. Haven't seen a lot of audibles tonight out of OKC. Red Feather outside. Brewski won't get to the sticks. How about the effort from Dunkley and Champion? Getting outside on the wily old veteran, and it's 3rd and 1 OKC, and the Renegades cannot afford a 3-and-out here to start the half, as their defense looked pretty winded trying to keep up with Ivan Sanchez and Tom Pepper most of that first half. 3 backs in the backfield. Vancouver showing blitz. They come with it. Handoff. Brewski trying to get around the corner. That was a risky move by Brewski as he's very slow to get up. And, boy, just does. Drew Hamilton with yet another tackle. Brewski, instead of just hitting that hole, cut it outside and did manage to keep the drive alive for the Renegades. 9:40 to go in the third. Fourth quarter, 9:32 to go. Carolina has struck back 42-27. Pride up by 15. Back to pass. Red Feather. Sidearm throw. Incomplete. And look at that. He had a wide open Julian Whelan. Instead, he tried to force the ball into Hamby, which, to be fair, is what I told him to do. And Hamby can't come down with it. Julian Whelan, if he just would have let that play develop a little longer, was wide open about 2 yards, not as far upfield. 2nd and 10 to the 40. Four down lineman Legion. In the backfield, back to pass. Red Feather, 3-step drop, fires a quick one out to Bovine. That pass is caught. Will make it a more third and manageable 3rd down and 4. This Renegade offense, very methodical. And one thing that the Renegades do very, very well is force turnovers and don't turn the ball over very much. Coming into the game, a plus 15 in turnover differential. But tonight, losing that battle. As the toss out to Brewski will lose, well, gain nothing officially, but lose about a half a yard. And that's not how Oklahoma City wanted to end their drive. Renegades will punt. Again, the Legion need to win by 14 points or more tonight to get the number 3 seed in the conference. Sliding Houston to 4th if, and only if, the Aztecs lose. If and only if the Aztecs win, sorry. If the Aztecs lose, then Houston would be the number 2 seed regardless. First down to the 19 following the punt. Sorry, I didn't mean to confuse anybody there. Vancouver cannot get the number 3 seed if Mexico City, I believe if Mexico City wins, since that would mean that, well, I don't know. That's what happens when you don't have them in front of you, folks. You just sound like a complete dope. If I can't get them right, nobody can get them right. Tallahassee scored again, 8:49 to go in the 4th quarter, 49-27. Pride definitely winning point differential right now over there at the top of the Eastern Conference. Handoff, Sanchez on a first down, got another one to the 41-yard line. Back-to-back first downs for Vancouver, and there is just no stopping this Legion team right now. You look at the linebackers, they're picking the wrong holes here. Sanchez is running where they are not. And that has been the difference in this ball game, whereas the Renegades' tightly compacted offense has been well controlled for the most part. Pete Brewski has not broken out any big long runs here. 4 receivers are going to run to Sanchez again. This time the Renegades pile up on the gaps. 117 yards on 18 carries. And really that has been the difference in the successful drives and the failed drives for Vancouver here tonight, is Sanchez finding successful lanes to run through. 7:06 to go in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 8 at the 43. 4-3 defensive front for the Renegades. They drop back everybody but 4. Pass caught by Corey Jones, and he took a hit on the sideline. Cade Stevens, rather, with the reception, my apologies. 3-yard gain, a very important 3rd down and 5 here for the Renegade defense. Vancouver been very good on 3rd down here tonight. Third down 5. Hand off Sanchez. They're going to keep it on the ground. He won't get there. Oh, OKC sniffed that one out. Myslinski with the tackle, and it's 4th and 3. And OKC's defense gets off the field and keeps this just a 2-score game. That was a very important stop for Oklahoma City. Michael's going to let this bounce. Not a good decision. Sliding in to make the play at the 3-yard line. Legion special teams getting the job done, and now Oklahoma City is way back deep in their own territory. Mexico City has kicked a 48-yard field goal to on the road in Alaska. Take a 25-23 lead with 25 seconds to go. And we hope that everybody in that game will join us here. Oh, Pete Brewski taking a lick in the backfield. Ruled no gain on the play, but he lost about 40 brain cells. It is getting a little bit chilly here in Vancouver. It was 62 degrees beautiful at kickoff, now into the high 50s. OKC definitely not used to that this season. 2nd down and 10, handoff on a stretch play. Brewski going nowhere. Lost a yard, back to the 2.5-yard line, and the Renegades are in real trouble now. 3rd and 11, they got to get out of their own end zone here. Vancouver's defense all over the Renegades here in the 3rd quarter. Just keying in on Brewski. Hamby top of the screen. Oh, they're going to hand it off again just to try to get out of their own end zone, and it was not happening. Wow, can't fault them there, but very, very conservative. Dunkley on the tackle, and the Renegade defense is going to have to come up with something truly heroic on this next drive. Legion are going to have excellent field position. Offense for the Renegades doing next to nothing here tonight. From the 36, Jones on the return. He goes sideways. Wrapped up at the 34-yard line of OKC. Still stellar field position for Vancouver. 4:41 left to go in the 3rd. Four-three look. Everybody's tied up on the line. Pepper going outside. Caught by Killian. 1st down for the Legion. The Renegade 22. Pepper having an outstanding night. 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, not a single interception. Pepper 22 touchdowns, 24 picks. So this will even up Tom's resume for the season, trying to get over the touchdown interception 0-0 ratio, which is the benchmark of having a pretty good season in the SFL. Empty set, 4 wide. OKC getting desperate. Back to pass, Pepper. Deep drop back, fires, bomb in the end zone. Intercepted! Intercepted at the goal line by Billy Joe Casper. The 54th of his career may have just saved Oklahoma City's chances of getting the playoffs for the first time since season 3. Casper got off of Killian and went out to take that one away from Charlie Northrup. That would have been his 2nd touchdown of the night, and OKC has new life. The Aztecs have intercepted Alaska. It is now officially a final. The Aztecs will be the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. As the handoff goes to Brewski, and Pete Brewski's got his biggest hole of the night to the 35-yard line. So with Mexico City winning, they go to 1. Alaska gets the 2 seed since they own the head-to-head tiebreaker over Houston. So now, what it comes down to, who's going to be the 3 and who's going to be the 4. Again, Vancouver can still get the 3 spot. If they win tonight's game by 14 points or more, they're up by 14 right now. 1st and 10 after the long Brewski run. Brewski will take a check down, and Brewski gets nowhere to run. The Legion have been very good on the outside against Brewski here tonight. So if Vancouver is the 4 seed, it will look like this. Vancouver will go to Mexico, and Houston will go to Alaska in a rematch of last season's Western Conference semifinal. What a crazy game that may be. 2nd and 11 outside to Brewski, and again, nothing doing. Everything to the side and through the middle for the Renegades has been shut down. Their only hope have been outs, ups, and corners here. And runs to the outside for Brewski when he can find some space. Another 3rd and long. Renegades entirely too much in 3rd and long. Redfeather to pass. Redfeather throws it short. Bovine breaks a tackle and gets the 1st down. What a play by Tiberius Bovine, as it looked like Joseph Redfeather made the wrong read once again, but Terry Crow cannot bring him down. And Bovine moves the chains and keeps the drive alive. What a play by Bovine when the Renegades needed it the most. Tallahassee has just opened up a can on Carolina. They're up to 56 points now. Brewski breaks off a tackle, still moving, picks up 2 yards. Again, gold star players for the Renegades making something out of nothing. 2nd and 8. High formation. Hamby, bottom of the screen, defended by Dunkley. Back to pass, quick 3-step drop, out route to Hamby. 1st down, breaks off a tackle. That's what Vancouver's been giving up. And Hamby takes it again. 1st and 10 of the Vancouver 40. What a drive for OKC that started at the 20 after Billy Joe Casper's interception. If Vancouver wins by less than 14, or Oklahoma City wins, well, actually, I should say that if Vancouver wins by more than 14 points, it would look like this. Houston would go to Mexico City. Vancouver would travel to Alaska in the Western Conference semis. As Redfeather goes long middle, and it's knocked away again. That time, Redfeather actually had an open Julian Wheeland, who was running a seam, and Drew Hamilton in the right place at the right time takes it away. That is brilliant defense out of Hamilton. Now, if Oklahoma City wins this game, the Western Conference semis look like this. Oklahoma City goes to Mexico, and Houston goes to Alaska. So right now, a 2/3 chance that we're going to get a Hyenas Storm rematch. 2nd and 10 for OKC. Back to pass. Redfeather to Bovine will make it 3rd and 2. Tiberius Bovine stepping up here on this drive. It'll be interesting to see what the Renegades do. They've had success running on 3rd and short, but they've also had their failures. Crowd is on their feet for defense here at Legion, or at Canada Field. 1 receiver, bottom of the screen. Here we go. 4-3 look for Vancouver. 2 in the backfield. Redfeather will pass. Redfeather in trouble, going long. Pass is way overthrown. I don't know where Redfeather was looking on that play, but pressure in his face will force either a 50-yard field goal or a punt. And the Renegades are going to come up empty. Going to try to pin the Legion back in their own territory, and that is a big disappointment for the Renegades. That was one of their best offensive series of the night, and it ends in a terrible throw from Joseph Redfeather. Can they get the punt inside the 10? This is going to bounce at the 9, at the 3, at the 2, at the 1. What a punt by Oklahoma City. Down at the 1-yard line. But the question is, can the Renegades stop Sanchez in the backfield? They haven't done that for almost 2 quarters. Still 21-7. Vancouver holding on to that unbelievably ironic 14-point advantage here, which is exactly what they needed. 4-3 look. Can they get out of their own shadow? Handoff, Sanchez running left. Sanchez has blockers, and there he goes. 20, 25, 30. Avon Sanchez, a gain of 36. That's almost more than Brewski has the entire night. And Coach Mike Irvine is absolutely furious there on the sideline. Sanchez just simply following blockers. That is just textbook as Savage brings him down. Down to the final 20 seconds of the third. Oklahoma City showing no signs that they're going to be able to come back here. Sanchez picks up 3. That'll be the final play of the third. The saving grace for the Renegades has been their defense here in the third quarter, keeping things close. That's the end of the third. This is the SFL Week 12 Game of the Week, and it's right here on YouTube. Second down and 7. 21-7, Legion up 14. Renegades jump offside, free play. Pepper looking long down the field, caught first down to midfield. Again, out to Northrop with Savage getting there late. Legion will get a first down. Oh, look at Queen City. They're coming back. 9 seconds to go in the third. That game may end up running later than ours. 37-21. Crabs still up 16. But that is now within reach for Queen City. And it looks like Queen City's not going to win the point differential. But if they can get the win, that'll give them home field advantage throughout the playoffs. If they cannot come back and win, that home field advantage goes to Tallahassee. Brett Killian, 7 catches for 63 yards. As we start the fourth quarter. Hand off to Sanchez. Sanchez again with a lot of room up the middle. Picks up 7 yards. Renegade run defense really failing them here tonight. They need another huge stop from their D. If Vancouver gets another score on the board, this could be sayonara to OKC, especially if it's a touchdown. 4 receivers. Renegades need another one of those picks. Their defense has forced turnovers all season long. Casper had one on the last drive. Back to pass. Pepper outside and a miscommunication. Boy, Oklahoma City caught a break. Vancouver had a wide open receiver and Pepper threw it to a spot where no one was. Now it's third down. 10:18 left in the fourth. 2 backs, 2 receivers. Can the Renegades finally get a stop here? They're stacking the right side. That strong side. Sanchez going to run right up the middle, first down. Boy, they're just crushing them up the middle. OKC can't buy a stop against the run. First down to the Renegade 37-yard line, and time is ticking away on the Renegades' most successful season in years. Out of the shotgun, Pepper. 3-3 defense, back to pass, Tom. Tom going long outside, caught inside the 20, Corey Jones. 2:06 for Tom. And it's another Legion first down. Renegades just have not shown up in the second half. Played a pretty good first half. Did struggle in some aspects. But here in the second half, they're just getting outplayed all the way around. 9.5 to go in the fourth. Vancouver has played a tremendous scheme here tonight. 3 receivers, back to pass, Pepper against a blitz. Boy, Oklahoma City brought everybody, and Cam Michael gets the sack. A loss of 10. Talk about feeling desperate. Cam Michael comes in on the sack. After Isaac Holt couldn't get there, the corner blitz works against the Legion. And for Cam Michael, that is sack number 1 on the year. 2nd and 20. Pepper to pass again with pressure. Deep ball. Wide open touchdown. Oh, that is just a killer. Vancouver's had receivers running wide open all night. On 2nd and 20 after the sack. And the Renegades give up an easy one. Where's the safety? Wow. That could spell the end for the Renegades, although still 8:50 left in this game, a lot of time left. That was not a pretty way to end that drive. For Cam Michael, that was his first ever career sack. And on the very next play, the Legion own the Renegades again, and it's 28-7. Vancouver can smell the number 3 seed in the West. Man, Renegades selling out, and for the most part, it's bit them in the butt here tonight as Michael breaks up a tackle. Cam Michael almost broke that one away. The 32-yard line, and the Renegade offense going to have to move with pace, but they just have not really had any big plays, maybe a couple of more than 20 yards here tonight.
First and 10 from the Renegade, 32-yard.
OKC needs some answers, and they need them now. Showing outside blitz, they run to Brewski right up the middle. Good play. Pickup of 7, and you don't necessarily have to go no huddle here. I think there's still enough time as you look at the updated running back numbers. But OKC's got to score with about 6 minutes left to give themselves a shot. They can't lollygag, but you got to run your offense. 8:10 to go in the 4th. OKC trying to keep a cool head, trying to win their first road game since January 15th. Handoff again, Brewski on a counter. Brewski pushes ahead, got the first down. But at some point, got to get going here if you're OKC. 7:48 to go.
First and 10 from the Renegade, 32-yard.
Still trying to determine how the Western Conference race is going to shape up. Same in the East. Going to backfield again, they're going to run. Brewski stretched left, but he cut it back middle. Brewski had some room to the outside. It's only a pickup of 4, and this is just bizarre play out of the Renegades.
Number 21.
Do they have that little faith and that much faith in Pete Brewski to not be throwing the ball with red feather right now? 7:13 to go in the 4th. Tallahassee has gone final. Wow. Just gashed the now 1-11 Skyhawks as their season ends in severe disappointment. We're going to hand it off to Brewski again. This is unsettling. Pickup of 4. You got to go now. You got to go now. I mean, give credit to OKC. They're picking up yards, but they're only to the 50. At this rate, it's going to take them another minute and a half at least to get in the end zone. And Vancouver is certainly glad to give up these yards as they go middle, and that pass is caught to Whelan. So finally on 3rd and short, the Renegade offense rolls the dice down to 6:28 to go in the 4th quarter. Julian Whelan's had a very quiet night.
Let's go. First and 10.
Mexico City started last season 1-5. Won 5 of 6 to make the dance. Renegades, or Legion rather, started 0-4. They're trying to make the dance as Red Feather's pass is caught, but in the field of play. That's man 2 of the clock continues to tick. 5:59 to go, and Houston's got to hate this because as of right now, the Hyenas fall to 4, and they'll have to go to Mexico City. Although, if I'm Houston, maybe I want to play the Aztecs. Just beat them a couple of weeks ago. Meanwhile, Alaska's had the Hyenas number. 2nd down and 6. Back to pass now for Red Feather out to Brewski. Stops his route. Brewski only picks up 3. This is just absurd from Oklahoma City. This may be their longest drive of the night at the worst possible time. 7:12 to go in the 4th. It's now a 10-point game in Baltimore. 37-27. Crabs trying to hold on. Got to give the Renegades credit. They are driving and now into field goal range for the first time in a long time. Split backs. Red Feather toss it out to, that's not Brewski. That's his backup who picks up the first down on a 3rd down and short. What a ballsy call, but we're down to 5 minutes to go in the 4th. That was Mackey on the run, and at this point, the Renegades are going to have to kick an onside kick here. A bizarre offensive series here for OKC. Just must have felt that they could not get anything going downfield. As Red Feather will drop the pass, 3-step drop, fires it short, pass was off the mark to Bovine, made the most of it. Now, finally, the Renegades are going no huddle. 2nd down and 5, 4.5 to go. Where was the sense of urgency 2 minutes ago? Red Feather back to pass. He's hit as he threw and incomplete. Right up the gut. Vancouver supplying the pressure. 3rd and 5. 4:27 now on the clock. Renegades with a very, very outside chance here. High formation, 1 man up the top of the screen. That's Hamby. Long, or short pass rather, caught in the field of play. And Oklahoma City on a 4th down and 3 hits Whelan, and they got to go for it. 4:12 to go. This is disappointing drive here out of Oklahoma City, acting like their season is done. 4th down. Can Red Feather keep the long, lengthy drive alive? Back to pass on 4th down, looking for somebody open, caught, 1st down, but in the field of play. Game is still alive, however, for the Renegades. That was Julian Whelan, who's been the only guy to show up on this drive for OKC. Back to pass, Red Feather, out to Brewski, and Brewski gets out of bounds at least. Stops the clock with 3:37 to go. Renegades got the ball with 8 minutes on the clock. Well, regardless, I mean, you got to get in the end zone. Whatever you do, you got to get in the end zone. Maybe make Vancouver sweat a little bit, because we'd be back to that 14-point margin again that Vancouver would need to knock Houston down to the 4 spot. To the backfield, Red Feather stays tight. Back to pass, Red Feather outside. Got Brewski, 10. Brewski, 6-5, out of bounds. 3rd down and 3, a pickup of 6. A 4.5-minute drive, and OKC is still fighting. Still has all 3 timeouts as well. You just never do know, but Ivan Sanchez has been running wild here. Look at the cushion they are providing Hamby to the outside. I'd be looking his direction. Back to pass, and there's Hamby, touchdown. Boy, Vancouver just gave it to him. And you could see that coming from a mile away. The Renegades score, and they're not done yet. They could still improbably take this game, or possibly take the number 3 spot away from Vancouver in the final seconds. Extra point coming. And the kick, low snap, but it's good. 28-14. Onside kick time for OKC. Desperate to come up with a miracle on the SFL Week 12 Game of the Week. The onside kicks Successful about 10% of the time. 3:28 on the clock, reversing field, caught by Vancouver at the 40. All right, well, that doesn't work. Renegades definitely need something here with 3:28 to go as it stands right now. The Houston Hyenas are your number 4 seed. They would go to Mexico. Vancouver would travel to Alaska, where the Legion got a last-second victory about a month ago. Hand off to Sanchez, and he's dropped in the backfield for a huge loss. A loss of 4. Renegades still scratching and clawing. Tank Savage with the tackle. .308 and counting.
Second and 13.
Vancouver, or Oklahoma City rather, will hold on to their timeouts. Second down and 14. Now they go 4 wide. Will Vancouver throw here? 4 wide, and the Renegades are locked in on a 4-3. They're still expecting a run. And that's what they're going to get. Hand off Sanchez, and Sanchez got hardly anything. Maybe 2 yards. 171 on the night for Sanchez, and Vancouver will have to run another play before the 2-minute warning. So look at Canada Field. This Legion team, well supported all season long. One of the biggest fan bases in the SFL, and they just got here. Now empty wide. 5 receivers. Vancouver going for the jugular here. On 3rd down and 12. Back to pass, Pepper. Pepper blitzed. Oh, and Pepper is sacked. Oklahoma City sold out again on the quarterback. Gets the sack for the loss of 7 on a safety blitz. Vancouver has to punt. We're not done yet. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification along the SFL Radio Network. Be legendary. This is the Simulation Football League on YouTube. So whether or not Oklahoma City wins this game, they could send Houston to the 3 seed if they can get another score of any kind on the board. And this punt will be returned for the 14-yard line, but not much room to return, and stuffed back all the way to the 15-yard line. And now the question is, how in the world is Oklahoma City going to go 85 yards in 1 minute and 52 seconds? 1:57 to go in the 4th quarter. Baltimore's up by 12, 40-28. Queen City's on the ropes, as both of these games, 2-score games. Queen City and Oklahoma City trying to narrow the gap. What can the Renegades do deep? Going long, Red Feather, incomplete. Into double coverage. Man, every player deep has been double covered all night. But you got to like the aggressiveness on this series to start. From Red Feather, you got to lay it all out there now as Terry Crow knocked it away, 2nd and 10.
Showtime. 2nd and 10 from the Renegades. 15 yards.
1:48 to go in the 4th quarter. Oklahoma City looking for something big. Free play. Outside. Got to take the penalty. Bring up 2nd down and 5. That's the 4th offside of the night for Vancouver.
Neutral zone infraction, number 69.
So as it stands right now, as of this moment, in the East, it's Queen City number 2 hosting Chicago 3. Atlanta will go to Tallahassee. That's as it stands of this moment. As it stands of this moment in the Western Conference, Houston will go to Mexico City, and Vancouver will travel to Alaska. 2nd and 5 for the Renegades. Trying to stand tall with their head high here on the road. Back to pass, Red Feather. Red Feather, middle of the field, knocked up in the air, bounced up, and it's intercepted. Oscar Dunkley getting his hands on this one. And that has been the difference in the game tonight. There is just nothing open deep middle. And that is where the Renegades have chosen to test Vancouver, and it has not worked. 1 first down should ice this and send Vancouver to the 3 spot. And Red Feather has just not been able to make any adjustments. He's thrown maybe 3 or 4 passes outside the hash marks beyond 10 yards. As Sanchez gets a carry and gets speared at the 35. Only a gain of 1. Timeout. Oklahoma City. Now they're holding on by a very small thread. Second down and 9. Ball at the 34.5. Hand it off to Sanchez again. Sanchez looking a little tired. He's dragged down on the line of scrimmage now at a field goal range. Renegades just won't give it up here. Down to 1 timeout. Now it's 3rd and 10 back at the Renegade 36-yard line. No quit in these Renegades. Got to give them that. Will Pepper go for the jugular here again? 3 receivers, 2 backs set. 3-3 look for the defense. Pepper going to pass. Pepper going long. Pepper's pass tipped up in the air and incomplete. They just saved the Renegades a timeout. Oh, man. Vancouver going for the kill shot on 4th down, and they couldn't make it happen. Man, you just never know. Can't leave the window open. Nothing's been open all night for Oklahoma City, but Vancouver just cannot put them away. Queen City has gotten into the red zone. Inside the 5, trying to make something of that. This ball is going to bounce and be caught. Oh, they saved it. Wow. Is that Dunkley out there on special teams? Maybe a duplicate number, not really sure. 1st and 10 at the 4. Now the Renegades have to go 96 yards with 1 timeout, down 2 scores. Never say never, but my goodness, that is a tough task. Queen City has scored a touchdown. It's not over yet there. 1:02 left. Red Feather to throw. Red Feather short, nearly a pick 6, incomplete. Frank Champion swats that away. It's 2nd down. If the Renegades have any plays deep into the outside, they got to go there. That's where they've had their most success down the field. That's where they've had their only success down the field. Lynn Ramos is laughing. We'll play the Legion first. Actually, not true. Not true necessarily. As it stands right now, Houston goes to Mexico City, and Vancouver would head to Alaska. Oklahoma City's got to pull a rabbit out of their hat here. Red Feather from his own end zone. And that's knocked away. Boy, they just can't get anything moving down the field. 3rd and 10. Still 1 timeout. Down to the wire as Queen City trying to pull off a ridiculous comeback. Baltimore's, according to the chat, Baltimore's recovered the onside. Queen City has 2 timeouts. Back to pass. Red Feather deep down the outside. Caught, broken tackle. Bovine down to the 37-yard line, and the Renegades will burn their last timeout. Oh, if only Oklahoma City could have gotten out of bounds, but we've been saying that for now a quarter. Throw long into the outside, and that is where Vancouver has been susceptible. Bovine keeps the Renegades in the ballgame. Houston in the chat saying, I'd rather play Mexico. He doesn't want to have any part of the storm, but he just may get a part of the storm if Oklahoma City can score in the next 63 seconds. Back to pass. Red Feather steps up in the pocket and fires an incomplete pass, and it's almost better for Red Feather than it was, as that would have burnt a lot of time off the clock. Really good job there by Red Feather to avoid a sack. Down to 58 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Oh my goodness gracious, it looks like maybe the defending champs still have a chance to get the number 1 seed going down to the wire in the East. Can Red Feather do anything with this drive? Going long down the outside, that time in double coverage. Bovine took a shot. Terry Crow in on the play, 3rd and 10. And this has been an excruciating final 2 minutes here, as everyone is waiting and trying to decide their fate. 3rd down and 10. Back to pass, Red Feather. Red Feather, did he get the first down? Yes, to the 46, but the Renegades have to hurry and spike the ball. 46 seconds, 45, 44. Red Feather gets up to the line, spikes it with 42 seconds on the clock. 2nd and 10. The Renegades still fighting. Wow. They just will not go down.
2nd and 10.
And it is a final from Baltimore. Queen City loses 2 straight heading into the playoffs, and they lose the number 1 seed and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Oh, Caleb Hamby was pulled back into the field of play, so they can't stop the clock. 3rd down and 3. That was a major mistake from Hamby. Red Feather will throw on a 3rd and short, going out route, caught out of bounds. 24 seconds left. 1st and 10 of the Vancouver 42-yard line. Oh, that was such a mistake there by Hamby, and the defender may have forced him back into the field of play.
1st and 10 from the All-Pro 41-yard line.
So the Eastern Conference schedule is as follows. Queen City will host Chicago, and Tallahassee will host Atlanta, as Red Feather down the middle of the field, caught, but the clock is ticking. 1st and 10, they got to get a spike up. 16, 15, 14, 13. The Renegades running out of time, down to 12 seconds to go. Well, it doesn't look like OKC is going to make the playoffs, but now the question becomes, what is the Western Conference playoff seeding? If the Renegades score, Vancouver is the 4 seed and goes to Mexico. If the Renegades don't score, Houston is the 4 seed and goes to Mexico. 12 seconds left. Hail Mary formation from Red Feather. And Red Feather is sacked out of timeouts. The Vancouver Legion will get the number 3 spot in the Western Conference. And OKC, a very valiant effort here in Canada, will not see the playoffs. They'll have to wait another year. A final of 28-14. Your current Western Conference playoff matchups. Houston will go to Mexico City. Vancouver will go to Alaska. Again, we hope to have the conference semifinals playoff schedule and broadcast crews finalized by tomorrow. A short summary, Joseph Red Feather actually finishes with more passing yards than Tom Pepper, but had a costly couple of interceptions here tonight. 2 major differences in this game. The first one was Ivan Sanchez. He ran where Oklahoma City wasn't all day long. The second big reason for victory was Oklahoma City could do nothing down the middle of the field. And you could tell Vancouver was ready for that matchup as the Legion dominated the field beyond 10 yards deep. The 9th season of SFL action, regular season action, is in the books. The SFL playoffs start next week. Whether your team is in or whether your team is out, be loud and proud. Show your SFL spirit. We'll have some very exciting announcements coming up during the week. 7 games left on the calendar, and it's all with the top 8 teams in the league. The race for the 9th SFL Championship begins tonight. I'm Cameron Irvine, and this has been a special presentation of the Simulation Football League on YouTube. All season long, we thank you for your tremendous support of the Simulation Football League. Stay tuned for SFL playoff schedules and major league announcements ahead of the SFL's 10th anniversary season. From our crew at Canada Field in Vancouver, British Columbia, and back at our SFL headquarters in the Metroplex of the Lone Star State, I'm Cameron Irvine. Good night.